Welcome, everybody. This is John Paul Meducha, Doctor of Speed Selling. This is the Raging Verbalist number what? Oh, 225. Well, if you're new, welcome. Glad that you're here. If you're an old timer, you've been here before, that's great. Always hit that like button so that way this thing keeps growing. Appreciate that. Also, you can hit subscribe so that way you can never miss an episode. And if you really want to be annoyed, you just hit notification. We're also on Facebook on the page called Position to Win book. I think it's just Position to Win, but anyway, just remember it's the book. So, okay, well, with me as always to ask me the questions, the tough questions, the questions that you'd be asking if you were sitting in that seat. The ever lovely Sandra. Sandra, welcome.
Hello, how are you doing today?
Doing well. It's a topic near and dear to my heart. So what are we talking about? Let's dive right into it.
All right, so we're talking the Bluetooth blues. So, how long have you been using Bluetooth technology?
Well, I've been using it for a long time, since 2006, but I became aware of Bluetooth in the early 2000s and became intrigued by it. Said, wow, that looks like it's going to be great technology. I read the technical papers instead of just the hype and all of that. And it sounded like such a great idea. It was going to revolutionize how we did things and, move that along. And, companies were going to add this to all of their phones and computers and your toaster and your microwave or whatever they were going to put Bluetooth on, and sounded like a great idea. I was excited and pumped because, well, frankly, I had been using wired headsets forever and would love to have found a way to eliminate the wires, because I can tell you how many times I got up out of an airplane seat with my wired headset plugged in with the phone jammed into the map thing. I don't even know why I call it a map pocket, because I mean, we're not going to be flying a plane, and go to get up and go yank, yank, just like having a little leash on a dog or something. Bow wow. So yeah.
All right, so what were the original promises of Bluetooth?
Many and splendid. There were a lot of different promises. First off, it was going to be wireless, a utopia. Look, mom, no wires. And all of that would be great. And then, you could put the phone down, you could walk away from it, you could have it being charged, and you could still be talking on the phone and all of those things. And yes, when people talk about EVs having range anxiety, I've been a cell phone user for so long. I have battery anxiety anyway. So you could put it down and walk away, and and then I had a big ugly headset that made it look like I was landing the space shuttle or something, or and that looked really funky and big, and I could walk through the airport and people would go, uh-oh, who's this guy talking to? So I could get rid of all those things, and that all sounded like a great promise. It sounded like gonna make my life easier, maybe.
Maybe, yeah. Has it improved over the years?
Well, if you take the list of promises they made in the beginning, it's like so much technology, the hype factor, the way they just get it, the balloon really filled up with all of the things. I don't think we've gotten close to all the hype that they originally laid out way back in, like 2001, 3, or whatever it was that it really kicked off. But it's gotten better, and each generation gets better. But then it introduces, we find another limitation, we find another thing that it doesn't do, we find another something that kind of fails and creates problems. And the reason why I call it the Bluetooth blues is that affected by microwave ovens, which it shouldn't, but it does. Affected by all kinds of other interference, all kinds of other things. Also, it becomes extraordinarily good at amplifying other sounds around you much better than your voice. And I know you're going to say, but John, they've got the new noise canceling, yada, yada. It does all the wonderful things. Yeah. So has it improved? Yes. But are we there yet? No, we're not. That's why it's called the Bluetooth blues, because I just haven't seen it jump to that excellent point.
All right, and how many Bluetooth headsets do you have right now?
Well, and that's why one of the reasons why we're doing this, because see, if I was just a non-believer, right? If I was just a Bluetooth Luddite, which would mean I wouldn't believe in Bluetooth, but I believe in it. But I want to believe it. See, I'm one of those how every time you get suckered in, you come back and you go, well, let me try it again. So as of right now, because I only want to put the operational ones that I have, so we'll go through them. So I have an AirPods Pro, and I don't know which generation, probably one, I don't, maybe two, I don't know. But I have AirPods Pro. There you go. In fact, that's what I'm wearing right now. And then I found, because I had these, I used to buy them 2, 3 at a time. This is a Motorola H730. If you notice, it's still in the package. And I used to buy these things, multiple of them, because what would happen is that, I'd have to rotate through them during the day, charge them, rotate, charge them, rotate. In fact, when I went to sell a car, I found one buried under a seat. I mean, it's just crazy how many of these I purchased. And this one is still good. It's brand new in the box, woodwork, and it was kind of a cool one. I liked it because it just laid on my ear, and it did some pretty cool things. Noise reduction, not so good. It was good at picking up a lot of ambient sound. Then I have the Skull Candy, and I like the name. Skull Candy sounds like it's a really cool name, but these suckers wouldn't hold a charge worth of crap. And when I called them up, they went, well, yeah, you bought them cheap, and I now know why they were cheap. And then I've got my original AirPods, and these are good because this is my backup. For those of you who aren't catching on, I carry at least 3 Bluetooth devices at all times when I'm traveling on the road. Not when I'm around, going just a little day trip. But I always carry extras because that's the other promise, that these things were going to last all day. If somebody says, oh, you got hours and hours and hours. Not if you use it as a phone. Now, I just shocked a bunch of people because I actually use the phone for telephone calls. So for those of you who are now needing a little bit of, you're getting a little agita, you're getting a little bit nervous, and all of that. Yes, I use that. So I have to have a backup here. And then, of course, I got one of these Amazon, Freaky Friday, whatever the hell they call it, Cyber Monday, whatever that was. And I got these Sonys because everybody said this was really cool. Look at that, it's got a little green light on and everything, which means it's charged. This is my backup to my backup. So you always, because remember, the rule is one is none. One is none. So I've got these. So actually, the 3 I carry, the 2 Apple AirPods and the Sony. Now, to go a little bit deeper, go a little bit further on this thing, I went and I have to give credit to Sandra and her significant other. And that is, I needed to have a speakerphone because, I often will get around, huddle around the phone, which usually doesn't work as well. And I ended up buying this. I can't pronounce it, but it's like Jabra. I don't know. It has a bra in it. I don't know. You got to wear it with a bra. I don't know, something like that. But this thing actually has older Bluetooth because, for those of you who don't know, we're up to Bluetooth 5 and going to Bluetooth 6. And that's also part of the issue is that Bluetooth is on its own path. Phones are on their path, and never shall they meet. But this thing, I called up B&H Photos. No, I don't have an affiliate link. And I said to the guy, look, the Yamaha one is newer, but there's the Jabra. And he goes, yeah, we get a lot of the Yamahas back. Buy the Jabra. It's Bluetooth 3, but the damn thing works. So, kudos and shout out for Sandra, coming out and, dogging that one for me. And then finally, I've got a pair of Beats headphones, if I can get them out of their cool little case. And believe it or not, these are Bluetooth. And yes, I've worn them a couple of times on doing the call. They get a little hot on your ears and stuff. So they work great in airplanes and things like that. Little big for me to carry, but I have those. And that's count them up, 7 current Bluetooth devices that I have. So I'm a person who's got to do that because my belief on technology is that, if at first you don't succeed, buy another one and see if they've gotten any better, which is really interesting because, of course, if you are wanting to make sure that you don't go down the dumpster, go down the drain, go down and not be successful, what you want to do is you want to pick up this book. You want to pick up Most Businesses Fail in the First 5 Minutes. It just takes them 3 to 5 years to realize it, Position to Win. And we discussed, between myself and my partner, co-conspirator, Gabe Batista, about why businesses fail in the first 5 minutes. That means you got 300 seconds to screw it up. Now you can get this at Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Books A Million. You can also get it digitally with Kindle, Nook, and iBooks, and go check that out. And hopefully you won't fail and you'll become more successful. And then also check out Remote Work for a Better World, which was our book, which talked about how to do what we're doing now, which is actually communicating remotely. Still, people do it really, really sucky bad. And if you want to, of course, get a little bit of Raging Verbalist magic, go pick up your Raging Verbalist mug. Oh, by the way, if you buy the book at positiontowinbook.com, which is our website, I'll autograph it for you. Everything's always a little bit better when you have it at a Raging Verbalist mug. Okay, Sandra, what's our next probing question? What do you have?
All right. So in the past, what was the worst Bluetooth experience that you ever had?
Well, hands down, I bought a Honda Clarity hydrogen powered, but that's another bigger story that we're not going to get into. And, because of, I'd have to have a Trent gun to bring me down if I start telling that story. Well, I bought the car brand new, and it was, and I, having been in the finance business and finance cars, I usually don't buy new cars because the depreciation is crazy. But I get this car and I'm really excited. And the car had a list price of $64,000. Cool, right? Neat car. And I thought, well, this is great because now I can take said phone and attach it via Bluetooth, Honda Link. They even had a name like Honda Link. And now I can then use my phone in the car and it'll be nice and cool and perfect. And because Clarity owners, especially hydrogen ones, we had a special concierge phone number. When it started crapping out, not working, I called up and I said, hey guys, guess what? I've got a problem. And my problem is that the Apple Connect doesn't connect right. What's going on? Here's my phone. What's going on? And the woman said, well, we have that problem. Now, by the way, I also have Android phones, just so you know, I go both ways on phones here. So that didn't work either. And she said, well, we're having some problems with the phone manufacturers and the phone platforms. So what we've done is we've contacted them and hopefully they will fix this problem. To which I thought, how many cars a year does Honda make? I don't know, million, 2 million, 3 million, I don't know. But how many phones does Apple make? Tens of millions, 100 million? I mean, with Androids, we're talking hundreds of millions. You guys are waiting for that to happen. And that was a Bluetooth problem that never, ever, ever got fixed. That was my worst Bluetooth thing because that was one of those, the people who wrote the website never had to experience what I was experiencing, which is sometimes it would connect, sometimes it wouldn't. Sometimes it would start playing music that I didn't even have going on. That was always cool. Turn it on and now it starts playing, a random song. I mean, I've heard of the shuffle, but this is nuts. So yes, that was my worst Bluetooth nightmare.
All right. And do you have a current Bluetooth problem?
Well, they're becoming more subtle, but they're still there. So every time I also have PCs, Windows machines. I have a Linux box, couple of those, and then I have Macs. Well, my baseline PC, a Dell, newer, every time I reboot it, it asserts itself and attaches even if I'm using it into making a phone call, it attaches to the laptop because, of course, it knows that, well, I want to attach it at that point in time, which is just nuts. And it's annoying. And I have not found a good, easy answer. And yes, you're going to say, but John, go in and turn that off or disconnect it or forget the device. I don't want to forget the device. I don't want it to decide for me when it connects. Let me connect it when it does that. Now, there may be a setting buried somewhere. Somebody may put it in the comments and it may work. All I can say is, it's an annoying problem. That's one of those rocks in the shoe, annoying problems.
And what does the future look like? Are they going to get better?
Since it has improved, since it has gotten better, since we now have things like Bluetooth 6 coming out, I believe, is that I think that we're going to start seeing more and more of this work. And yes, it does work on a more consistent basis, though you yourself, Sandra, have problems with your Bluetooth connecting to the computer, because I know that you and I've been talking on the phone and you're trying to get on the laptop. So, you've had those problems, right?
Oh, constantly. And it's my second pair, so I get you.
So,
Disconnecting, or even if I take one ear out, then it'll just decide to disconnect altogether. They're actually trying to fall out of my head right now, so that's why I'm constantly doing this. So a little bit of everything.
it's not that you're doing the whole model thing of just trying to show
You're
your
right.
earrings a little bit. Yeah, there you go. There you go. Yeah. So yeah, no, it's getting better, but it's still annoying. All those little annoyances have got to get better, frankly, if this thing is going to really work out.
So, how do business people, business owners, sales professionals, and entrepreneurs use Bluetooth?
Well, I think that people use them, and there's a controversy too, because there are some people who believe that the waves, the emissions are going to drive you crazy. I guess I'm the test dummy for this. I should probably wear like a little foam hat, and have it put on the side, Bluetooth test dummy or something. So I think that what you have to do is communication is very important. I can tell you that the cheap ones don't work as well as the good ones. I can tell you that platform matters. So if you have Apple, you probably want to buy an Apple device. How it fits in your ear, and here, so you got to make a decision on that. And then the other part of it, for anybody who's in business, anybody who uses it to communicate, is these things have a life. And when their little batteries die, fall over and die, dramatic point there. You just got to throw them away. I mean, because I don't know any other way to do it. And that has been a big annoying thing. I usually go through at least 2 sets, some days 4 sets of where I have to take them out, charge them, get to the next one, charge them, and then you start doing the rotation. So if you're going to do a lot of calls, make sure that you have more than one. One is none. Number two is make sure that you buy the best that you can afford. That's important. Number three, look at staying inside of your ecosystem. Number four is make sure that you have you have a charging plan. And number five is that you understand that when you're talking to people, you never know what weird sounds it's going to pick up. So if you're sitting there thinking that it's not going to pick up some kind of indiscreet sound, flushing toilet, by the way, you just got to make sure that so if you're out there doing something like that, just got to make sure that you understand that. Now, hopefully that you have now heard this, you will make a better decision and you won't have the Bluetooth blues. And we will see if in a year or two, when we do another one of these, if all of these problems have been solved and we're in a state of nirvana and all of those things are going to work. So for myself, John Paul Mendoza, Dr. Speech Selling, and the ever lovely Sandra, this has been the Raging Verbalist number 220.